When Christians first distinguished themselves from pagans, the word pagan meant country dweller. For the first centres of Christianity in the Roman Empire were the great cities, Antioch, Corinth, Ephesus, Alexandria, and Rome itself. Furthermore, during the centuries in which Christianity was born and spread throughout the empire, the growing mercantile wealth of Rome was attracting population to the cities, so that, as early as 37 BC, the government of the Emperor Augustus showed concern for the decline of agriculture. The Georgics of Virgil were a direct expression of this concern, poems written at the behest of the government in praise of the rural life. O fortunatos nimium, sua si bona norit agricolas. Blessed I, blessed to excess, knew thee how goodly the portion earth giveth her farmers. That Christianity grew up in the cities at a time when, as today, the big city was the centre of economic and cultural attraction is a circumstance which must have had a deep influence upon the whole character of the religion. For Christianity as a whole has a decidedly urban style, and this is true not only of Roman Catholicism, but also of Protestantism, which first arose in the burgher cities of Western Europe. In evangelizing the West, the main difficulty which Christianity encountered was, for as long as 1500 years, the competition of the tenacious nature religions of the peasantry. Perhaps it is easiest to express the effect of these circumstances upon Christianity in the form of a personal impression, not, I believe, at all peculiar to myself. For as long as I can remember, I've been puzzled by the fact that I can feel like a Christian only when I am indoors. As soon as I get into the open air, I feel entirely out of relation with everything that goes on in the church, including both the worship and the theology. It is not as if I disliked being in church. On the contrary, I spent much of my boyhood in the precincts of one of Europe's most noble cathedrals, and I have never recovered from its spell. Romanesque and Gothic architecture, Gregorian chant, medieval glass and illuminated manuscripts, the smell of frankincense or of the mere must of ancient stone, and, above all, the ritual of the Mass. These are as magical for me as for the most ardent Catholic romanticist. Nor am I insensible to the profundities and splendours of Christian philosophy and theology, and I am well aware that early training implanted in me the bitter sweetness of a Christian conscience. But all this is in a watertight compartment, or rather, in a closed sanctuary where the light of the open sky comes only through the symbolic jewellery of stained glass windows. It is often said that the ascetic atmosphere of Christianity is a mere irrelevance. The Christian life is not what one feels, but what one wills, usually in the teeth of one's feelings. The contemplative mystic would say that to know God is precisely not to feel him. It is to know him by the love of the will, in a cloud of unknowing, in the dark night of the spirit, where, to sense and feeling, God is utterly absent. Therefore, he who knows Christianity in terms largely of its ascetic glamour knows it not at all. Illuminated missals, spires, wide screens and decorated choirs, all these I loved. And on my knees I thanked myself for knowing these, and watched the morning sunlight pass through richly stained Victorian glass, and in the colour-shafted air I, kneeling, thought the Lord was there. Now, lying in the gathering mist, I know that Lord did not exist. John Betjeman.